Hi, welcome to the Dawn Publishers. You're watching IELTS with Rajesh. In today's session, we are going to look at how to write the academic essay writing for IELTS writing task 2. And the one thing that you have to notice, essay writing has a minimum word count of 250 words, and you can also write up to say 275 or 300 words, and the time limit given is just 40 minutes. And usually you get the topics from different fields or disciplines like health, education, environment, technology, etc. So another thing that you have to be aware about is the type of essays that they ask in the IELTS exam. So the essays could be opinion based essays or discussion based essays, or essays that discuss about the advantage and disadvantages of certain things, or it could be problems and solutions based essays, and of course agreeing and disagreeing type of questions. So there are certain things that we have to note when we try to write. The first thing is we have to know how to write to the point. Now, whatever you write has to be relevant to the topic. That is very important. And the next thing is using appropriate keywords and relevant vocabulary. You know, unless you have a sound knowledge of words related to that specific discipline or field, it's not going to work out. Okay, because the examiner will try to assess your knowledge of vocabulary. Okay, and that is where relevant vocabulary plays a crucial role. And the next thing that you have to take care is, when you write, you have to avoid spelling and grammatical mistakes. So you can be assured that there is no right or wrong answers in IELTS exam. So you are free to argue from any point you want. So you don't have to literally worry about, whether you're going to make some mistakes or not with respect to your perspective. You don't have to worry about it. And one more thing that I want to tell you is, do not try to impress the examiner using complicated or unintelligible use of words. Please don't do that. It's not the right way to write. It's like, we try to put in a lot of we call it as keyword stuffing. You use a lot of keywords there just because you want people who read to understand that you have a good knowledge of vocabulary. So you're not creating a natural essay, but you're making it very unnatural, so that will not work. So please refrain from doing such things. Instead, focus on clear thought, organized writing, and also provide very good and relevant examples. Yeah, now let's come to the structure of the essay. Now, I have always recommended students to have 4 paragraphs while they write their writing task 2. The first paragraph, as you all know, would be the introduction. Now, the introduction needs to present the background of the topic or the situation that is discussed. So, unless the reader understand what this essay is going to talk about, we are not going to have a very clear idea about what is, in depthly discussed in the essay. So, it's important that you have to state the background in the opening paragraph of your essay. Okay. So sometimes students, what they do is they just copy the question and write it as it is in the introduction paragraph, which I don't think is the right way of starting an essay. Instead, what you have to do is you have to understand the question appropriately and use your own words, and then state the question, as you feel would fit without any change in the meaning. Okay, so the introduction paragraph should introduce the topic, and then it should also give an idea to the readers or the examiner, like what this essay will be about. This is what, it's very important when you write the introduction part. Now, I'll give you an example. Maybe I can read it to you now. You just listen to it very carefully. Now, people today do not feel safe either at home or when they are out. What are the causes? What solutions can you suggest? Now, this is the question. Now, for this, a suitable opening can be like this. In recent years, the global safety rates have somewhat decreased. As a result, it is now argued that individuals do not feel secure neither indoors nor outdoors. This essay will examine the roots of this problem and suggest some steps that could be taken towards tackling this issue. Now you see the beginning of the paragraph is very concise and to the point. And we have not added any extra information which is not relevant to the introduction. So an introduction such as this would really, give the examiner or the readers an idea and a clear picture of what is, yet to come. Okay, now let's move on to the next paragraph. In the next paragraph, I usually suggest the candidates to express their opinion on the topic. So, the second paragraph should have a central idea. That is the, most important point in this paragraph. And it should also contain a supporting idea. Now, you state the central idea and then you give a supporting idea to it, and you also include at least one example. This one example can be taken from real life. Okay, whatever you have experienced or whatever you have come across in your life, right? Or whether you have read somewhere, it could be a survey, it could be a research, or it could be just anything that supports the central idea. I'll give you an example for it. In my view, social media, if used for the right intention and purpose, can be greatly beneficial. From growing their network to finding new career opportunities, social media can be of immense benefit to everyone. Using social media for business can be an effective way to engage with customers and develop branding. Now, when we read this, we understand how important, social media can be in terms of uplifting our life. And imagine if I have a business, then I can make use of social media in such a way that it promotes my business. So this is the positive way of looking at social media. And I can also write about the negative aspects of social media, right? So that depends. So if in the second paragraph you're going to talk about some positive things, then you have to, have a central idea, then have a supporting idea, and also give some real-time example to express your opinion. Okay, with this we'll complete the second paragraph. Now, getting to the third paragraph, now your job is to have the other side of the argument. Now, this is very important. Now, in questions like, say, advantages and disadvantages, in one paragraph, you can write about the advantages and the next paragraph can be about the disadvantages. So please do not write both advantage and disadvantage in the same paragraph. Okay, so it's not going to be right. So you need to separate your ideas. And that's why, each central idea can have a separate paragraph. And I would normally suggest just 2 paragraphs, right? That is, the first one would be introduction. The second and the third can be the body of the essay. Maybe the second one covering the positive aspect and the third one covering the negative aspect. And the final one can give the conclusion. So in the third paragraph, when you are writing about the other side of the argument, you need to understand that you have to also have a central idea for it, and then a central idea should be supported by a supporting statement, right? Followed by a real-time example. This is very important. Now I'll give you one example. You can start like this. On the one hand, there is ample, powerful, almost daily evidence that such technology can be detrimental, especially to younger generation who are more easily affected by its addictive nature, and which can result in people feeling more isolated from the society. Now here we try to understand that, like whatever we are using, be it technology or any other like platform, sometimes it can go against humanity, it can go against our natural cycle of routine, whatever it is, right? So for in case if you use social media for a long time, or if you are too much addicted to your devices, then it's going to harm your health. So now you can give number of examples for such a argument, right? So that's up to you. So in the third paragraph, you would normally present the other side of the argument. And also don't forget to include one example. The final part of the essay is where you conclude. So conclusion is all about summarizing your main arguments. It's not just a summary, it should also suggest some things if it's asked in the question, or if it's asked in the question that you have to discuss your own opinion on this topic, then you may have to discuss that. Okay, so it's more of a summary. Okay, you don't have to introduce any new items in the conclusion part, right? Because it would just summarize the whole thing. I'll give you an example for that so you will get an idea. So many criminals commit further crimes as soon as they are released from prison. What do you think are the causes of this? What possible solutions can you suggest? Now, if you look at this question, it's very clear that it's a question that says many criminals find opportunities to commit crimes after they are released from the prison. Now there should be some reasons for it, and once such a problem is identified, we have a responsibility to know what like how to control these things, or we have to recommend some solutions for it. And for this there is a apt example here. So you can write like this: in conclusion, many criminals reoffend soon after leaving prison for a variety of economic or psychological reasons. But the problem could be tackled with better investment in prison education and probation services. So if you look at this answer, we understand why criminals try to commit further crimes. So they primarily commit crimes because they are economically weak, and some people are affected by psychological conditions. So they they have no other way than to survive, they have to commit some crime. And the writer also suggests a solution. He says proper prison education and probation services can make them feel valued, okay, and they may not get into such crimes again. Yeah. So in this video I have explained you in a very fundamental way, like how to write an IELTS academic writing task 2 essay. I hope that you would have to follow this appropriately, but just reading this alone will not be sufficient. What you have to do is you have to take a number of essays and try to mark with your pen wherever is necessary, identify which is the main argument, which is the supporting argument, which is the example, and how is an introduction start, and what are the phrases that are used while trying to explain, like, for example, transition words. And then conclusion part, what is the phrase that we use in order to conclude? There are tons of phrases which we can use in order to conclude. So you have to find out all those things. If you tend to read a lot of model essays, you'll get a complete idea of how to write beautifully. So thank you so much for watching this video, and if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. I'll be posting a lot of videos on IELTS from now. Definitely it's going to be of great use, and I have my number, WhatsApp number listed on the YouTube page and my Facebook and other social media places. In case you have any doubt, you want to talk to me, feel free to talk to me. So thank you so much for being with me today.